Miranda, how come your thing when you sent out is so small?
Tom had that issue too.
You see the little plus thing there? A little on the right hand side, lower bottom.
Download it.
No, you usually can do Control Plus, but it didn't work.
I'll say that.
Oh,
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, that was pretty.
so small at first I couldn't find it. No, it should be there, but.
Well, Sue isn't.
It's 8 o'clock.
here. I know it's 8 o'clock, but Sue isn't here yet. Oh, well, we do have a quorum. So it's 8 o'clock, so I'll call the Rusk County Emergency Services Committee to order. First thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes from September 10th.
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of September 10th. Any further discussion?
Morning.
Okay, if not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Public comment? Any public comment?
No comment.
Come on, Mike, you gotta
Public comment?
liven this up in the morning.
I talk too much.
Any public comment? Okay, public comment is closed. Emergency services. Who is presenting on that today?
We're gonna tag team that.
You or Teresa?
I gotta take you. I'm
Oh
over
my
the other
gosh, I
side.
know. Do you have the packet pulled up? I can just see it with you. Okay, so we have been kind of tag teaming between emergency services or emergency management and the ambulance. So we did our best to do an update kind of like Tom used to do. So first and foremost, I think both of us have seen an outpouring of support from both the state and neighboring counties, which has been great. We actually relied on both of them yesterday for something that came through. We have multiple staff covering emergency management duties. Some of our sheriff office staff are helping out as well. We're working on updating all of the contact information with partner agencies. A lot of alerts, testing, things like that came through to Tom's email. So we've been switching over that contact information like Dairyland Power, things with the dam, stuff like that. Brian, the Northwest Region Director from WEM, has offered to come on site in the next few weeks to meet everybody and assist where he can. So we will hopefully have that meeting set up here before the end of October. The first hazard mitigation plan meeting has been scheduled for October 16th. If you guys will remember, we tried to do that in the spring. And then with what was going on with the federal government, there was a pause in that funding. That's now back. Taylor County is the lead agency on that. So that emergency management director has offered to come to Rusk County to be in person for that meeting. And then the Emergency Planning Community Right to Know Act Planning Grant, right? Yep, is due at the end of October. That's the LEPC grant. It's just a touch under $7,000. It provides funds to county emergency management offices to support the LEPC completion of required hazardous materials planning and preparedness activities. So that is specifically, that's one of Tom's budgets that you guys go through every year, and that's a grant that we have to apply for. So that's pretty much it on the EM side. Teresa and I tackled our first spill yesterday. So that is what we reached out to the DNR and Taylor County for. They were both incredibly helpful in walking us through what that spill report was and what the impact could potentially be to our hazardous materials plan report here for 2025. So that's on the EM side.
Oh, well, question on this, the emergency planning community right to know due at the end of October. How is that coming along, or?
It'll get done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We tag teamed a different, she'll get into that one, but we tag teamed a different grant already as well. So we'll make sure that it's in.
Okay, so for ambulance side, I received the email from the We Jumped program, that's the Medicaid reimbursement. First installment payment should be scheduled to hit our account sometime either this week or next week, and that's in the amount of $9,966.44. And then the second installment of $233.85 should be coming later on in October. That was after the final CPE audit for the 2023 year, and we were audited 4 times. It took a little bit of time for me to figure out what information they needed and the calculation of hours spent on Medicaid calls. There was a formula that I ended up having the auditors help me get figured out. And so I'm going to start on the 2024 year probably in the next couple weeks. I do have a phone conference with our billing rep from EMS MC. She's going to help me get the numbers I need that Tom usually pulled from wards. I'm familiar with the ward side as far as entering calls and stuff, but pulling the data we need for this, she's going to assist me with so we could get the 2024 done. And I'm hoping that we don't have any audits, and when I submit it the first time, it'll be good to go. But how the audit works is I plug all the numbers in. It kind of gives a rough guess of what our reimbursement is. And then once the auditors pick apart the numbers like they do, the number can go down or go up. So
Tell Marty he's online.
If you go up here, click on people next to the chat, click on people, and then you can mute him over there. Yeah.
That's who it is.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit on the reimbursement program that Medicaid rolled out last year. We completed the FAP grant last Monday, I believe it was.
Yep.
Got that submitted, got the email back that they received it. So now we're just waiting to see what is going to be allocated to us in funds. The ambulance radios have all been replaced. So far, the communication is really clear. We were all really surprised that we wouldn't have more glitches, but that's going well. There is some programming issues that I'm working with Phil and Ashley, along with, actually it's going to be GenCom instead of Motorola. We're going to schedule some reprogramming of the radios to get current hospital names in there, because we're still seeing the old hospital names from 20 years ago. And some of our newer EMTs are getting confused when they're trying to dial into Rice Lake, Marshfield Medical Center, and they have to look for Lakeview because that was the previous name. So going to work out some of those bugs in the radios. The portable radios, we are on the second phase of switching those out. Sheldon is scheduled next Wednesday to have their portables switched out for the reprogrammed radios. So far that's going well. We had them all reprogrammed to just have the one frequency, so there's no longer east, west, south, or central, which was confusing, you know, when you went to different territories. It's all one now. I believe it's called EMS Central. And again, with the hospitals on there, some of the older names are still in there. I do have to work with Taylor County a little bit because we do have first responders in that area that work with our county. So we have to schedule a time for their radios to get reprogrammed to our new frequencies.
They come here, or do you go there?
What was that?
So do they come here?
Yeah, Scott Copenhaver is head of the Jump River First Responders. He's also a full-time EMT, so he'll coordinate with his responders to get radios upgraded so that they could talk with us.
Yeah. Ambulance been able to talk to Jump River.
That is one thing that we're working on.
I've been working on that for a year.
Yes,
That should have been done this time, automatically. It's
Well,
just-
there was some confusion when the radios got installed. Tom was in the hospital that day. And so I didn't know what communication he gave the programmer. And so when he programmed the radios, he took the template from the Ladysmith ambulance. So all of the ambulances have the Ladysmith
Communication has
template.
not been very good on that system as far as I'm concerned.
On the new one?
Huh?
On the
The
new one?
radios, yeah.
Yeah, so I do have a meeting scheduled. Marty Hoon is gonna come in next week.
Yeah.
And Candy, she's pretty familiar with radio dialogue. And we're gonna create the template, and then I'm gonna meet with Phil and Ashley and get it set up to have each ambulance's template upgraded.
And then I have one other question. How much were the 10 new radios? How much were those a piece?
I don't know, I need to find that in.
Because I'm just wondering if it might not be cheaper, since we got hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting there, rather than paying to refix old radios, it'd be more advisable to just buy new ones and have it done with.
Well,
Because I'm hearing it was $400 for those radios. I don't know if it's true or not. But I'm sure it's gonna be 100 something to get them refixed and updated and just a question.
Yeah, I
Because now's
haven't,
the time to make the decision. Once you
Yes.
spend the money
I'm
and they start
not
failing.
familiar with my viewpoint yet in searching out
Okay.
invoices. I know how to enter them, but I do need to find the Motorola one because I do have one battery that's bad that needs to be sent in for warranty
Well, that's
replacement.
why we have to make the decision whether we go ahead with new or fix the old, my opinion. And
And then the new one,
'cause I told Tom that a long time ago when this whole thing came up and
right,
it went nowhere.
yeah. The only ones that can be reprogrammed at this time are the Hyteras and the
Yeah.
HYTs.
Yeah.
And so we're getting the Vertexes, they're being destroyed. They can't be upgraded anymore. So I guess we can look at that later.
yep.
I mean, I think it'd make economic sense, especially since we don't have to borrow the money.
We use that fund balance to keep the levy consistent, so there's no,
Well,
I gotta be careful not to
Yeah,
get
I
rid of
know.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into
Okay.
that and then figure that out for you, Phil. So there are some upcoming trainings that are coming up in the next couple months. Rice Lake Northwoods Technical College is doing a trauma training, and I put in a request for 20 EMTs and first responders to attend. I'm not sure if we'll get that many. So far, I've got 4. That'll be October 7th. And then October 4th and 5th is the EMS Fire in Green Bay. I attended that conference last year. That's our billing company.
You said October, but it says November.
Or excuse me, November, November 4th and 5th. There's no fee for that class, and I have a son that lives over in Green Bay, so I'll be staying at his place for the conference. It's a really good conference. They kind of show us more the legalities and how our documentation needs to be as far as billing side of EMS. And there's trainings that I can bring back for the squad that they'll give us at that conference. So, and then I did finally find a American Heart Association CPR instructor training class. We've been working for the past year, Tom and I, trying to find one in Wisconsin. One of the EMTs, full-time EMTs, found this class over in Minnesota. And when I contacted them to find out the cost of it, she said that if we had 5 people in attendance, they would bring the trainer here to Rusk County. So I do have 5 people in mind. The cost is roughly $485 per person. And Ashley said we could probably use the small conference room here at the courthouse for that training.
So that will be brought back next month, request for that one. Because I only have,
Yeah, it's sometime in December. I can bring that back.
So that 1,500 is for the trainer to come here?
Yep,
Is that what mileage, lodging, et cetera? Or
It's a one-day course.
1 day.
So they wouldn't need lodging. That's just to bring the trainer and the supplies for training here. And then the materials are an additional $485, which would be the hard copy manual that each participant would receive and their kit for doing CPR training.
Sure, that small conference room will work. You couldn't have an EMT class or a CPR class in that room for 5 people.
You don't
It'd
think
be
so?
crowded.
I think the boardroom is booked. We
Okay.
could look upstairs maybe in the.
Okay.
in the-
Otherwise, I know the fire department has been letting us
Yeah.
use their
Or
meeting room.
Denver. Or, oh, that's a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
we
just
use them
saying,
a lot.
because I
They
saw
don't
the 5
charge
in
us.
that room. It's like, I remember taking CPR classes
The
and
Jump River.
bodies
Community
and dummies
room.
and some of both. Gets crowded.
Yeah.
Just asking.
I can help you with, or you can help us with Jump River.
Mhm.
Okay.
I have a question. Could I ask your name, please?
My name is Teresa Ludwigson.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm Mike Raven from the city council. I don't think anybody's ever introduced us though. Okay, very good. Thank you.
You mentioned in here approximately 20 EMTs for the training, but you've only requested 6 on the travel thing.
Yes, because they can do some ride sharing to get to the class.
Oh, because it's.
So right now,
but the
there's only,
registration fees.
yeah, right now only 4 have expressed interest. This is
Okay.
next week, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so we.
Or no, October 7th.
November 7th.
November 7th, I can't.
Okay.
I'm still thinking we're in September. November 7th.
Right, at this time, we are not thinking there is going to be 20. If you want us to bump that number up from 6, we can.
Well,
There's more attendance in that 2-day one, that Rice Lake Technical EMT conference or whatever. There's more people, I think, used to go to that than this.
Then the trauma training.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, you can always bring back a revise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we attached, I think, did.
It's not attached.
It's not, okay,
Oh, wait, yeah,
it is, yeah, okay, so yeah, it's a really good, Phil, did you look through that? It's a very good list of what's gonna happen in that training, I think. I think it looks
And
like
yeah,
good.
the trauma training, usually Marshfield Medical Center put that on and it was down in the Dells. And I've gone to that twice. It's a very good training and I was really happy to see that it's closer to Ladysmith this year and that the campus is putting it on. A lot of good trauma surgeons that speak about it and nurses and things that they look
Yeah.
for us to do pre-hospital out in the field. I'm hoping more than 4 will want to go.
Okay, anything else, Teresa?
The other thing, we had our full-time meeting last night. And we do need to schedule a refresher here sometime either in the fall or early spring because everybody's license is due to expire in June of '26. So I will contact WITC for a trainer to come. I did talk to Wadeen Stevens and her license has expired and she hasn't renewed it. So she's gonna see about getting that renewed and then she could come do the refresher for us. But I'll have to, if she can't, get another trainer from Northwoods. And then the CPR, we should have everybody current by the end of October. We have one more class that's being done in Bruce next week. And I started doing the OIG background checks. I found Tom's binder that he did the checks randomly on all EMS staff. So I kind of went through them to see when the last time he did them on the EMTs and first responders, and I kind of set a schedule to do 5 or 6 a week to keep us in compliance for that.
Doesn't the state do it anymore? They used to send notification out, you got so long before it expires.
The OIG.
Yeah, I think so.
From what I read, we do it randomly. I mean, you have to do it twice a year on each
Okay.
employee, and just, so I kind of,
Well, I know the state used to do it.
yeah, no, we have to go in and type in their names and do the search and, then print the page
Yeah.
off for records. So,
Okay, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
then.
have one more question. Wow, since when are we offering flu shots to first responders? I just heard that a couple days ago. that There was
Yeah.
a rumor going around. That
I
you have to
had-
be full-time and have insurance.
Yes, when that email came out, I had asked Ashley Goodis if it was being offered to the first responders and volunteer EMS, and she said at this time, no, it's under the insurance. If you have to have the county insurance.
That had nothing to do with it. We never had insurance before. We paid for everybody regardless. And
Yeah, that's not a her thing. That's a, yeah. that's
Yeah.
a-
well, I just want to know because that was something we hadn't given people a whole lot, but that was something they could get was a free flu shot and COVID's free again if you want it. So anyway,
Yeah, it probably has something to do with because we switched insurance providers, is my
Yeah.
guess.
I'm just asking. So because this was long before insurance and we made sure everybody had a shot for it. Some people didn't take it just like everything else, but everybody was offered it. And I think you should.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the training request for Teresa and then the EMS staff for the two that she mentioned. One is November 4th and 5th for Teresa in Green Bay, and the other one is for up to 6 attendants in Rice Lake. For that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the training request.
Turn.
My turn. Okay.
Motion.
Oh, okay.
Phil, are you comfortable making the motion to approve trainings?
I'm just wondering why we paid for a breaker for the rental house.
It's
We're talking
It's
about.
not the bills, it's the training requests out of
Training.
county training requests. That's what I need a motion and a second to approve the training.
Oh, we did.
No, not
I
yet.
said I did. I did.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the two out of county travel requests. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Next thing on the agenda is the payment of the bills. And for the ambulance, I think are there any questions on those bills?
Okay, now the breaker.
No breaker, yeah.
You rent a house, the house is supposed to fix the breakers, I would think. Just curious. At least I presume that's what it is for $18. I presume it's an electrical breaker.
Yeah, so that purchase was made unfortunately, while we still had Tom, so I
Yeah,
would only be able to guess.
I suppose it would depend on, what's in our lease. What the verbiage is in the lease. I don't know if we're responsible for that or not.
that's normally the house's responsibility.
I would think so, but who knows?
I could really get wild with it and put it in, but I won't.
Well, what was it, 18?
Motion on the bills. Motion on the bills?
To approve
Yes.
payment of the bills? There's a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve payment of the ambulance or the emergency services bills. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, say no. Motion carried. Budget review.
All right, so I did my best to kind of take off where Tom had left it. On the main ambulance, I left his projected number in there. There's nothing that we came across that looks like any kind of glaring unexpected expense. A couple notes on these lines, though. On the 122 ambulance first responders, we are over on pay for first responders by $80. But I think Tom always saw that as like a good problem to have because it means people are responding. On 141 ambulance meeting premiums, over by 2,800. 511 donation expenses, over by 2,800, but I did note that the revenues are also over by 3,500. And then in the other information, insurance came in a little bit higher than had been budgeted.
So are we settled up with our original billing company then? So we get all up to.
I don't think it's settled up, but we have communication.
I saw that 3,500 there, and I was
Yeah.
wondering if that's where it came from at first.
I have a meeting with our new rep. Tim Rosen is leaving his position. He's staying within the EMS MC billing, but I have a meeting with our new rep. And I know he was working really hard to get some of the information from the old billing company. And so I'll check with her where they are with that. It's been a struggle.
Well, because I saw extra money coming in there, I thought, oh, good, we got something settled.
Maybe there were some accounts that they were able to retrieve, but I will check with her next week when we meet.
So. We budgeted almost 2, right?
Hmm.
And we're at 1 3/4.
1.1.
Oh, here it is. Never mind. 1.1. So I was just curious if we're at 1.1 right now, so basically we kind of have like 800K left for the rest of the year. Is that about right? So I was just curious as to why these additional concerns? Would you anticipate by the end of the year to spend that much again?
No, like I said, I did my best. I used Tom's projected expenditure, which he was thinking 1.75 million. But it's our responsibility to let you know that you're over on these lines. You know, they've been overspent. Like that one has been overspent by $8,000. That's something you should probably be aware of. Even if the budget itself is going to be fine, I think you should be aware that some of these lines are significantly over.
You know why?
First responders.
No,
meeting
also
premiums.
tip-ups.
Oh, for what?
Tip-ups. We're standing people up, we're going out there, doing a lot of things and leaving them there so we don't get paid for it.
Yes, and
I think there was enough this year. When I listened to Paige, it
yes,
sounds like a lot more of them.
and we initiated a new fall protocol yesterday. We're going to be doing some more referrals for patients who are high risk for falls to get home visits. We're hoping that will help. So when the EMTs or first responders are on scene and they do a tip up and if they see that there's some areas of concern in the home, they will fill out this referral form, but the patient has to agree.
Yeah, that was one part I was wondering about.
Yes, so that's one thing that we're going to try to implement to help with the falls.
What is a tip up?
It's when somebody falls and we just,
Can't get out of bed, can't get out of the chair, on the floor, can't get on.
and we go there, we pick them up, and then we don't do a transport.
Okay.
And with the We Jumped, we did look at them, and we did get a partial reimbursement for some of that. The other thing that they had mentioned through our audit was they're really impressed with how our county handles centralizations. You know, where we move an ambulance to the city to keep an ambulance close for service. So there were some of those calls that we did get a percentage of reimbursement from.
Okay, that's good to hear.
And yeah, they were really impressed by it. They hadn't heard of a county doing that, you know, centralizing an ambulance. So we may see more of that. They may send that out to other counties. But yes, so we did implement the fall referral last night. Hopefully that'll help with some of our repeat patients. The other, and I don't know if it's something Russ County wants to do, but some counties do bill for no transport if they use medication services. Tom really didn't want to do that because he felt that that was part of our community give back, to our patients. So
I thought he was like 3 tip-ups within a certain time frame. They were gonna start getting started.
That I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
okay, so
know.
that didn't happen.
I don't know if it did or not. I just now started doing the billing
Yeah.
and I can
Well,
dig and see if he did
if it's
that.
happening, you would know because of the billing. He said that's what he wanted to do.
And I guess I'd have to look, because right now I just took over, submitting the bills. So I don't know if he submitted some for no
Well,
transport.
if you haven't seen it, then he didn't.
Well, when we get the payment, it doesn't really specify what it was for. I'll look into it, but I know that was a big thing he wanted to give back to the community, for the no transports and.
I'm good till the last one.
Okay, then for the ambulance grant for 252, no concerns there. 253, the LEPC operations grant. So this is the grant that's due at the end of October. No concerns there.
That's when you put that out. Is that what we were-
This is the one that we're working on. And then 254, this is another LEPC grant, but this is specific to equipment. 253 was specific to operations. No concerns there. And Tom usually towards the end of the year would spend out of this equipment grant, so we'll probably put our heads together and see if we can find what he was spending on that one.
Does that have to be submitted at the same time as the?
No, there are
Operations one, or?
different due dates usually. Yeah, and we like to make things due throughout the year. And then for 255, emergency management, no concerns here. And you'll probably see the expenditures stay pretty consistent here until we can get a replacement in that position, because this one is mainly salary and benefits.
When all that,
What is the plan for that? Yeah.
I think at the next personnel meeting, there will be a request to fill form,
okay.
and then it would be posted after that.
Okay, are there any further questions on the budget report
I move to approve.
and forward to finance?
Board to Finance.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the monthly budget reports and forward to finance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carried. Okay, then next item is discussion and possible motion on the 90-day notice of non-renewal from the city for the ambulance garage lease.
Do we have the new one yet or not?
Yes, it came into the clerk, Connie forwarded it out to everybody, I think.
Yeah.
So this ultimately is a property decision. It's already been to property, but property did want to hear from emergency services if you guys had any other ideas or thoughts. So essentially they're exercising what was agreed to in the contract. They gave the 90-day notice, and then they sent an updated version of the lease, which is a $2,000 per month lease payment to have the,
$1?
instead of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. $24,000 a year instead of $1.
For Pete's sake.
So a couple of things that were discussed with property were looking at, does everybody know where the forestry garage is south of the highway shop?
No.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
So we own that building. The east side of that is used by the forestry department. That's where their trucks and equipment are. The west side of that is rented through an in-kind match to the RCTC transit company. And that's currently where we have our backup ambulance because it had been in gates. And do you guys remember that smell of the fiberglass was leaching into the ambulance and we had to get it out of there? So that's where the backup has been. There is room in there to get the main ambulance. Of course, we have a tenant in there. So that's something that property will have to decide if they want to go that route. And, you know, you guys can please share your feedback on that as well.
Did you see the email that came and said they're ordering a new truck, so they need that space?
Yeah, yep. Otherwise, we could look at constructing something, or you could accept the terms of this lease or try to negotiate with the city. That's kind of where we left it at property, those 3 avenues, and they want to hear from you guys.
I say we sit down and negotiate with them, because this is absurd. Ladysmith's in a win-win situation in this. Even for $1, you guys are getting a deal, because you have an ambulance with a 3-minute response time. The other squads, they're lucky to be in the ambulance within 10 minutes, most times. And this was worked on. I worked on this after that, because I don't even remember who were on the boards then, but Bruce, Hawkins, and Sheldon said, fine, we'll provide the building, heat, utilities, et cetera. Ambulance pays for anything that's ambulance related. And I'm not going to say who I talked to several times in the city, but he was going to get back to me. He was going to get back to me. He was going to get back to me, and never did. Because I said, everybody else agrees to this. What's the problem? Now all of a sudden they send us this. Maybe we should move the ambulance to Glen Flora then. We'd probably get a better deal there. If they don't want us there, be honest and straightforward. I personally think, and I'll say this once, it's part of the petty feud going on right now.
Part of what?
The petty feud. I talk to people, they don't need the office anymore that they have there. Storage can possibly be revised and other things can happen if they need to. But I think we got to sit down and talk to the city of Ladysmith. This sending emails, and everybody knows how I think about emails. We should just sit down with some of them and talk, would be my opinion. Ladysmith's got a great advantage, and now they want us to pay for it. If they pay for it, how are we going to recoup it? We're going to spend $24,000 in each one of the other cities, which they don't ask for? Are we going to charge the Ladysmith residents an extra fee on every call we have in there? Which would only be fair?
Okay, first of all, this isn't him alone
I know.
doing that.
No, I'm talking to him so he can refer to them what I say before I get back.
In the old days, I was part of that, remember? I've been on the committee for over 20
Yeah.
years. So I know the history behind it.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up because most people don't.
Yeah. I do, but a lot of times when you're focused on something else, you know what I mean? You don't want to listen to the history.
Yeah,
We've had a good deal.
yeah,
We've had a good deal,
yeah,
both of us,
yep.
you know what I mean? And I have no idea, it came from the Police and Fire Commission, and you know what, came from City Council, and they said the lease was 2020, and you know what, they want
I mean,
to.
we shouldn't be discussed with the Ladysmith Police Department. We shouldn't be in that discussion. We should be discussing ambulance alone.
How do I say this politely? This is more, I would say, a tit for tat, because they are still let's say resentful of when John Caleb gave them the increase on lease on the city thing here. And he just said, this is non-negotiable, you will pay the $5,000
I didn't know it was non-negotiable.
That's what he told him. He said, non-negotiable, that's it, period. Am I right on that?
No comment.
Yeah, okay, so he
I don't
agrees.
want to get into this battle.
So, but this is part of this tit for tat thing, I can tell you that with the city. And so they are still, we'll say resentful and keep it that way, about being handed this ultimatum that you're going to pay 5,000 extra a year, even though it hadn't been raised in years for the cops to be here. And this is part of, I would say, tit for tat for them.
So retaliation.
Yes. And someone has suggested to me, I'm not advocating this or something, but going along kind of what you said, okay, have the ambulance stored in Hawkins, and if the policeman has an emergency
We got a
call,
big building there.
it would take time to get here, and if somebody happens to a negative result, well, that's the city, you know. It's a very unfortunate situation. I would say, you know, to agree with you, you know, to try and negotiate with the city, but it really is, it's still very, very resentful about, I think it goes back to Caleb saying, okay, here's $5,000 increase per year. It's non-negotiable, that's it. And they are, I won't go any further.
And as far as using the forestry building, if the sand train goes through, Bruce can get here quicker, or maybe even Sheldon, by the time the damn train gets through that intersection.
Yeah, I know the train was always a concern for Tom too, but unfortunately, we do only have 90 days.
Yeah.
And if we can't come to an agreement with them, we have to have a plan in place for our ambulance to
Yeah.
be. Because
January 1st.
ultimately, I understand what all of you are saying. Ultimately, this is gonna impact the taxpayers, the people that we are here to serve. So we just need to make sure that we have a plan.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's why I said it's the last resort. We'll give them it, and then we'll charge it to the city of Ladysmith, which we should be able to do, because from what I hear, what Thomas told me, we're charging out of county residents a little extra on their bills because they don't pay taxes to support the ambulance. Maybe that isn't true too, I don't know. Huh?
I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
All county residents would pay for ambulance operations
Yeah.
through their property tax
Yeah.
bill.
But I mean, when the ambulance picks up somebody out of county, there was,
Oh,
Tom
right.
told me there was supposed to be
Oh,
an
out of
additional
county.
fee.
Yes, there is an
Okay.
additional fee for.
And so we
out-of-town
just do that to
residents.
the city of Ladysmith, but then we have to charge extra besides making up the 24,000, because that's gonna require extra bookkeeping, extra time, extra foolishness, but, no.
I think the first thing is to try and
Talk.
negotiate with them. I agree with that, but there is
Good luck.
deep resentment. We'll just leave it at that.
No.
And I think we should, I don't think this has anything to do with ambulance. I don't think this has anything to do with the police.
And it
I just-
shouldn't.
I just want to make sure that I don't think this is anything to do with the agencies themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just like to go back and have the argument based on what I just said, to be fair to everybody, you know? I mean, and they got a grant for that building, most of it, if I remember right. We all paid for our buildings.
FEMA grant,
Shouldn't go there and grovel.
right after tornado.
Because, I mean, I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Try to
Well-
do something with it, but I don't.
Well, I think we gotta try.
But
And I'll try and
at
remain
least we say
calm.
we tried.
Let's try to keep,
At least we say we tried.
let them negotiate and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, then I think, yeah, we seriously need to look at these other options.
So who do we want to do this with the city?
You said it came from the Police and Fire Commission?
Through the city council, yeah.
I'm looking at our side, yeah.
Yeah. I would prefer to do it since I know more about it than anybody else now. I've lived through it. You know. And one or two other people with me, which I think is only fair.
Ashley, do you think it's appropriate for you to,
I,
or what would you suggest?
I think you guys should come to consensus about how you want to approach this, and then nominate maybe a voice, and then send that back to property, because ultimately, per the ordinance, property has oversight over leases. And then if property agrees with that, they can
When's property
move
meet?
forward. That wouldn't be for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are looking at, alternative things for, this is moving out of this, well, it's part of it, out of the Gates building and everything, but then the ambulance could be that if they come up with building something or doing that, and we're exploring that part right now.
So this expires in November, right?
December 31st.
December 31st.
Oh, December 31st, okay.
It was,
Power doesn't mean until November.
it was, what, a 3-year lease? I mean, for $1 a year, and then it got renewed for another 3 years, but that's ending now.
Started in 20.
And we've been given the notice from the city.
I think, when this came out and I first saw this, I thought, this is really ill-timed considering what was going on with Tom. I thought it lacked any
just
compassion
happened to be
whatsoever.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Because they sent it on, I think, the 29th of the month.
I just thought, that's really low. That's my own feeling.
You know, right along with what Phil said, 65 or 68% of the calls are right in the Ladysmith district. You know, that's something that I think a lot of people, even on the Police and Fire Commission, probably don't know.
Yes.
No, but I mean, you know, that little history, you got the history, you know, when you sit down and negotiate, you know, those are the things that people need to know, that 65 or 70% of the calls are right in the Ladysmith district.
Do we have statistics on that from where the calls are now? Yeah, I think
That would be helpful.
that would be very good, Teresa. Yes, thank you.
Because I think the last time we had those figures was probably more full-time crews working in more areas.
But if we had those statistics,
Yeah.
like the last 2 years,
Years.
yeah.
When can you, I mean, would you set up a meeting or would you have to wait until the city meets again to go ask for an
Well,
audience?
I
with
think
them?
we should set up, decide who's going to do it and then contact
Yeah.
them, because that can be done independently of anything else. And I mean, we should get,
Well, I think we might as well opt, because the property referred it to us. It's in our hands right now, so we should take the next step. You know, and waiting a month to take it back to property is,
no,
no.
we
I
got
mean,
to,
we have it in our lap right now, so it's ours to deal with.
And a thing to consider, which I just thought of because we have a storage issue right now.
Yeah.
We have a lot of supplies over there.
they'll have to be out by the end of the year.
We have a lot of what over there?
Supplies.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
our
about a 12 by
restocking.
12 room, basically.
Yeah, you know, our equipment, we got a lot of stuff and I don't know where we would put it. You know, in the
Is that
interim.
something would not necessarily have to be right there?
Yeah, it should be handy.
It should be for restocking, you know, all of our bandages, our ice packs, our oxygen supplies. You know, we have huge oxygen tanks that are stored there. There's a lot of stuff there that I didn't think about, you know, that,
They'd have to probably go back where Tom was, in that area.
and there
Just
isn't.
Chuck it in there.
A ton of room.
There's not a lot of room in
There's
there,
not
but.
a lot of room.
No.
And to lug an oxygen tank from Tom's office out to the parking lot to replace in an ambulance,
And they probably have to be stored somewhere they can be secured to the wall.
they have to be secured
Yeah.
to the wall. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that I just didn't think of until now.
Well, that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
But
No, and-
because I think, well, like I say, we gotta negotiate and see. I think we have to have a plan B though, or assume the worst just to be on the safe side, like, okay, we're gonna have to move everything out of there by 12/31. I mean, hopefully not, but, you know, plan for the worst.
There isn't a blizzard.
Yeah.
So that building that you recommended, but, I mean, is there ample storage there for everything that,
For everything that the ambulance would need, yes.
and plus, that the spare ambulance is there now and there's room for the other one as well?
Yeah, so Brett went through a list of all of the county-owned property, and this was the only building that could accommodate 2 rigs.
Okay.
And so that's why he went out to kind of look at it and see what we had out there.
But our.
And that's here in town,
CTC
right?
doesn't.
It's right at the highway shop, yes. But there, like I said, there is a
The yellow
tenant in
building
there.
south of there, yeah.
Mhm.
So, and what, can we terminate that lease or do we have to let them write it out?
There's a 30-day out, I believe. I'd have to, Jerry Biller, the chair of property, asked for that lease at the next meeting and Brett and I had it. I think it's a 30-day notice.
I don't know if we have the room there and if we can do it, if we can get the people out of that lease, et cetera. I don't know. I think we should just take advantage of that and.
Also
screw
think
the
that
city.
if they stay in the house and they gotta run out there, there's a sand train, there's frosted windows because there's no garage at that house right now. I mean, it's gonna triple the response time.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal.
It'll be
but-
like Sheldon or Bruce or Hawkins on response time. Well, not that bad, but they'll be there.
When you say the other tenant in that building, is that RCTC?
Yes.
But then we're.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have a space crisis for sure, and there's really no pleasant option.
Because originally,
What else does RCT entail?
It's the bus.
Mechanic.
Yeah.
mechanic space,
Oh.
basically.
Mhm. Yeah, yes, Phil's right.
That
It's
space,
the shop.
That has to be in,
actually, that space would still be available in it.
What's that, Mike?
That, where they fix the buses and stuff like that, the repair part of it.
No, that's where the backup ambulance is now.
Oh, yeah, I said that 253 is over there.
That's right, yeah.
And then there's a back part that's there.
There's the back part. That's being used by RCTC right now, and yeah, so it's,
But what I'm talking about, where they have the lifts and that, where we fix the bus, we'd still be able to do that, right? You know, in the middle there, you know, you're talking
yeah,
about.
there's
outside.
another garage section.
Yeah, there's another bay right between the forestry and the ambulance. That's where they fix the buses.
And the other thing is, originally when that complex was built, we're supposed to put the two ambulances, one behind the other. And it can be done,
It can be done.
but our safety
There's a
officer
crush
would have,
hazard.
if he saw anybody trying to get into either ambulance.
And we've done it for temporary
Yeah,
times, but.
I don't know what happened there, but I remember getting assured that there was lots of room for both ambulances to be parking there.
Well, okay, we're not gonna get the result right now. So who do we want to negotiate with the city then? Come up with?
you up for it, Phil?
Yeah. I would like to have at least one other person from the committee there too, I would think.
Well,
Yeah, sure.
Terry and
I-
Phil then.
I-
We just have to be careful about the quorum situation. So Rich always preferred not to have more than one.
Rich preferred a lot of things that weren't right.
Right, and I know.
You can have two because it's not a quorum.
It's not a quorum.
Right, but it's a negative quorum. You could have, ask the board chair to be there with you.
Oh,
He's part of every committee if he wants to be, so.
Right, you could ask the property chair.
Thought.
well, and I'm on property, so.
Yeah.
But you're not the chair, are you?
No. The vice chair.
Well, I will volunteer to do it if you think I'm the one to do it. I will try and remain calm. And Ashley set it up and as soon as we can.
Okay. That's,
I would go, yeah, I think that's a good idea for Phil to go in the property chair.
Is this a motion or just
I'll
consensus
make
of
that
the
motion.
committee?
Well, I don't know, do we need that in the form of a motion or just that we've agreed to?
I think it would be prudent in this case to have it in the form of a motion.
Okay, so your motion is,
I motion that we have from the Emergency Service Committee have Phil represent negotiations from this committee and then the chair of the property
Jerry Biller,
to represent,
Jerry Biller.
Jerry Biller to represent from the property committee for the negotiations.
Or let's leave it open, or his designee, just in case something comes up. Then we don't have to come back and do all this again. designate the chair,
Or
but
designate.
he can't. for a
Or
moment.
chair's designee.
Yeah.
You got that?
I just didn't want to
Wanna read
get,
that?
turn into a big snafu down the road.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay. Motion by Kudo to have Schneider represent the Emergency Services Committee with the chair of the Property Committee or the chair's designee during negotiations of the ambulance storage lease with the city of Ladysmith.
And I'll let you second since I'm named in it.
I'll second it.
Is that your intent with that motion? Okay. Did I word it good enough?
And I think, I mean, I'm willing to do it too, I mean, with that, because I'm also on property. But
Well, that's why I've suggested two people, because that's not a quorum, and Rich has always been, as far as I was concerned, trying to play it way too safe to get it functional.
okay, the motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carried. Anything else from emergency management? Okay, thank you very much. Nice meeting you. Okay, the next thing is the medical examiner, and she's in here, and you have something? Medical examiner? Nothing? Okay, the monthly report, there isn't one. The training requests, there aren't any. Payment of the bills, well, I guess we can wait until he comes back in. The bills are whopping amount. Budget review, we don't, well, wait, there was a budget.
She did still send me everything for her packet, so you'll have all of those items. One of the actionable items is to approve the agreement with Marathon County.
Right.
She brought that last month. The recommendation was to have it reviewed by Corp Counsel before
Right.
moving forward. She advised me when she let me know she was not coming to this meeting that the agreement was reviewed by Corp Counsel prior to his resignation, and he said everything was kosher to move forward.
But she does understand that that doesn't mean we're going exclusively with them, because we got to start comparing prices now. We have options finally within a reason, within the same distance, so.
Right, but I don't think that was her intent. Just looking at this, well, running through it, the death certificates there, or death statistics, I should say, there was 6 natural, 1 suicide, 9 cremations, 5 hospital, 6 on call, with what she had. She's got hours left. I think the Marathon agreement that was sent out, we've all seen it, and you said Rich did review it.
That's what Annette told me, yep.
Okay, okay. Because that's what we had requested, if you remember last time, that he review it and everything. And there's 2.
Calm down.
Hard to break.
Down.
What you missed was the agreement with Marathon County. Rich had approved it. That was the question from last time, and Miranda said he did review it before he resigned from that. So that is, a goal as far as that. Again, I think.
Didn't Annette say that basically it was equal distance, one?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just another option.
One other option
Basically.
for us, but.
No report on
When I read
prices.
through this, cost factor, it didn't really say anything in here, so I wonder, are they comparable? Do we know?
No.
I do not know.
Okay.
That was supposed to be, I thought was part of the idea. And I agree with her, might be, well, and of course, I don't know where Marathon, or you go through Wausau, if you gotta drive downtown, you might as well drive into the cities.
Yeah. But I mean, so it's just an option, whatever.
Right there, because we don't have to use them. And I mean, you've got the copy of the letter from them offering, and then the service agreement. And like Miranda said, that he had said that Rich had reviewed it and had no problem with it.
I know there's a
This
lot
doesn't
of,
obligate us
No,
to use them,
anyway, right?
but the part I read in there was a lot about it is once you turn the body over, they decide what they're gonna do, is what I got out of it, which is kind of scary to me.
well, some of it, but you still state what you want.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
whether, what type and, supplemental, you can request extra things.
I thought that, yeah, the way I read it was like if they thought there might be something else, that they suspected something else or whatever. I don't know if they would just go ahead and do that, or if they would then ask for, if we just requested like a basic
structure.
whatever, and then they ran across something suspicious or whatever. Then
Yeah.
they have to, then.
They would contact us, see
Contact
whether
us
we
and
want,
see
because that would be
we wanna
additional.
Pursue that or not.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, to try it. So I guess that's the next thing on the agenda. Do we want to approve that contract? I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract.
Again, just to be sure that does not obligate us in any way, or it's just that we have that option to use that
Right.
if we choose.
And it might be cheaper than.
Well, there's also another one over there besides Ramsey too.
Well, this is just another option. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're going to do it. So, since she's not here.
Make a motion, we sign the contract, but continue to look at the differences between availability to get the job done,
The cost.
cost.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to accept the Marathon examiner's autopsy contract agreement. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carried.
Just to verify that motion, we're approving the agreement with Marathon County with the intention of continuing to look at other options for
Yeah.
cost differences.
Well,
Okay.
basically, let's find out what the others are offering and the cost.
Okay.
I don't think there's one single price in there, is there, in that whole contract?
There was not.
Okay, she was supposed to get back with the cot loading system and the costs and everything.
Doug Pavlik is going to just look into other options of getting the current cot loaded easier rather than purchasing something new.
Okay, so there's nothing
So
more
we don't
done
need
on
to take
that.
any action on that.
Okay. Yeah, because she was supposed to get the costs of that because we discussed it last meeting.
Because I don't think the company would guarantee their cot put in that or in that van, so.
Thing.
Ambulances all have special work done, I think, to put the cot in.
Okay, moving on, to remove the,
Second. I don't suppose you'll buy us a round of drinks on that one.
motion made and seconded to approve the invoice for payment. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Review the budget. I guess she's got her budget here. Let me get to it. Again, there's no concerns according to this. This is done month of August. Again, nothing's really changed.
Is he behind a month?
No concern.
Shouldn't this be September's or no?
Well, the other ones,
I guess either way, I don't see that there's gonna be any concern.
no, she's under, and then if we're not doing anything with the pot, at least at this point. And that's the only one, and she signed it. I guess I would accept a motion to approve the monthly budget report and forward to finance.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the medical examiner's monthly report, budget report, and forward to finance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. I think that's all that she had. There's nothing more since she's not here on that. Okay, on to the sheriff's report. And
Sheriff Grassman and Chief Deputy Wycheck were both unavailable to be here today, so I will go through our packet for you guys. Our daily inmate population is hovering around that 28 mark. We've had a couple of days already that have been up to 30 and 32, so I do anticipate that being maybe a little bit higher next month. Our electronic monitoring, we have 2 out on the bracelet right now. I believe one of them is getting released in a couple of weeks. 0 housed out of county. We've had quite a few trainings received. Julie Olson attending the FTO Basic is fantastic for our jail dispatch staff. That adds 1 more person who can train our new hires. So that will make it much easier for when we bring those new people on and they are actually scheduled with an FTO. We have 3 upcoming training requests. Sergeant Zach Neal has 2 of them on there. The FBI LEDA is a executive development training. Now that he's a sergeant, that will be a great one for him to attend. The other is conducting sexual assault investigations at Baraboo PD. And Zach Dykeman, one of our investigators, is requesting to attend in identifying labor trafficking and exploitation in Marathon.
okay, and I have the Ottawa County Travel.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made, seconded to approve the 3 training requests for the Sheriff's Department.
Can you say what LEDA is?
Law Enforcement Executive Development Association.
I'll have to give Jack a hard time. Are you qualified to go to that?
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the 3 training requests. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Motion carried.
And you'll see on there the calls for service. As always, those emergency detentions are on the rise. We had one over the weekend, a juvenile who is currently in Winnebago. She was quite combative with the hospital staff, and hopefully is doing well at Winnebago. She was just transferred, which we did have to.
County got one out of Winnebago finally.
Yes. We had to transport her to Winnebago from the hospital that she was at in Green Bay. So you'll see that bill come across next month.
Is this a teenager or teenage, not an adult? Well,
Correct, juvenile.
Okay, any other statistic stuff there? Yeah, the mental health, emergency detentions. Looks like the domestic violence is, compared to 23, is just about.
Yeah, I would say our guys respond to disorderly conduct or domestic violence calls at least 4 times a day.
Oh,
I'm unsure why that would be on the rise, but a lot of times it does have to do with drug use or mental health.
And we're closing in on the holiday too.
And the season change of.
Good to see weapons offenses down.
Yes. I think emergency detentions will be a new high by the time the year's out.
Mm-hmm.
One day they had 2 of them at one time.
Okay, if there aren't any questions, continue. Is the next thing back to the agenda here.
I just have to ask this because that's who I am. Initial issue for brass name tags, I presume? Want to have a really short name, is that why it's cheaper than the other two?
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw that and I just had to ask. It's the only thing I could come up with makes sense. And the other two are from Weyerhaeuser. Big long names.
With a ski on the end.
Yeah.
Any further questions on the bills?
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Any motions made and seconded to approve payment of the sheriff's bills? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Motion carried. Next thing is the budget review.
For each of our budget reports, again, this month, nothing significant has changed as to concerns with each budget. Obviously, the expenditures and revenues are going to change with each report. With the 210 or that first page, our sheriff's budget, since we started these reports, we have had the concern with our communications budget because of that 5-year agreement with Spillman that came up unexpectedly. Even with that large invoice that we had a few months ago, I still don't think that we'll be over in that budget line. It's looking really good right now. There's still a couple months left, so I don't want to say too much, but I don't anticipate we'll be over in that
Refresh my
line.
memory though, did we go with a year renewal or?
We still have not heard anything back
Okay.
from them.
On a five.
So we did budget as if that will hit again in 2026. 211 budget, that jail budget, our reserve deputy overtime, again, is still a concern. And our equipment budget is currently over. And how we are just hoping to combat that is to reduce spending in that line for the rest of the year. Canine Leo is working as a single purpose dog. His medical issues have subsided and we've seen a quite increase in donations to that, so. our budget.
You haven't heard back from the national thing about paying some of his medical bills?
No, we received back that they wanted pictures of him prior to accepting or denying.
Oh.
And now since them receiving pictures, have not heard anything.
Another 6 months.
He wasn't cute. I'm like, what? He just doesn't look good enough.
I mean, their pictures aren't gonna,
I think they use it for like their own marketing of, hey,
Yeah.
we helped this dog. But now we have not heard back, so
okay.
hopefully they're not saying they've helped him yet. The next one is our ATV patrol. That is a DNR grant reimbursed. We received our reimbursement for that yesterday for the 24-25 fiscal year that runs on. And this is the highest I've ever seen the reimbursements for ATV and snowmobile both. The reimbursement for ATV was 84.95%. So the reimbursement check is $12,718, which is fantastic. Snowmobile patrol is the same. Oops, sorry.
So it's way over, essentially. We don't have to return any of that, right?
No, it's just reimbursed.
Okay.
Yep. The snowmobile
The number
patrol.
of ATVs are out now. The
Yeah.
registration has gone crazy with them.
Yes,
I don't even
for
call them
sure.
ATVs anymore, I call them cars. They
Yeah.
are.
Pretty much.
Snow Patrol, that DNR grant runs on the same fiscal year, so we got that reimbursement yesterday as well. And that was 100% reimbursed, which also I have never seen. So we'll get the $3,966.30. You'll see the revenue is that $7,000. That is because of the internal budget transfer for that, which if we have the 100% reimbursement, I believe that that transfer line is basically null because we don't need to borrow from anywhere else. Water patrol is as normal. Our jail maintenance budget, we've talked about that at each meeting, still are expecting to be well over budget for that, and there will be some possible plumbing issues that will hit that budget as well. I think you guys have been talking about that a little bit at property.
Oh, yeah.
The next budget is for our Jingle Bells and Badges, formerly Shop with a Cop or Christmas for Kids. The year-to-date revenue listed on the report is changed from when this report was done. We have actually gotten $5,745 so far in donations, so that's fantastic. We've received referrals back and we're currently at 300 kids referred. We still have to cross-reference our list and make sure that they aren't facilitated through anything else, but if not, we could have 300 kids to take care of, so.
How many were there last year?
I think we were at like that 280 mark last year. So we do hover right around that 300. The tactical team budget, no concerns there. Our wireless 911 budget is zeroed out. We don't use that anymore. The BRDEU, that is what we use for asset forfeiture and drug buys when we have them. With no drug investigator, I don't anticipate that budget changing. Edge is over for the year, so what you see on this report is what it will be for the remainder of the year. Project Lifesaver, again, we don't have anyone on that program, so I don't anticipate any changes there. The victim services budget is now completely 100% with the DA's office. The victim witness coordinator, her grant was done and did not get renewed for her to remain in the sheriff's office. So she is currently working on cleaning out her office and will be up in the DA's office full time.
Second.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded to approve the monthly budget reports and forward to finance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Next thing I believe is the sheriff's office schedule of fees.
Are these pretty much in line with what the clerk?
One, our schedule of fees is a little bit different than what the rest of the county operates on. A lot of our stuff is set by statute. Really the only increase that you'll see here from when we last updated this in 2023, we added, where you'll see copies on CD, we added the or USB. It used to just be $5 for a CD, $10 for a DVD. We do use USB a lot because of the size of the documents that we release. Our CDs are not large enough in a lot of cases, so we move forward with the USB. And the other changes will be found in the civil process service fees. Historically, or as of 2023, we were charging $75 per service and $30 for each additional defendant at the same address. We're increasing that, or asking to increase to $100 and $50, which is right in line with our surrounding counties. Other than that, the sheriff's sale fees and writs are set by statute. Requests for officers at specific functions, we just changed the wording in there to, it used to say this fee will be waived. We changed it to may be waived for government, school, and nonprofit organizations, just in the event that we're needed for additional services outside of the regular scope, we would be able to charge for those hours and get the overtime rate reimbursed.
But you're
I have something to
keeping
say
it
about
at $90.
Yes, yep, because that covers
Yeah.
their overtime rate and mileage.
In the town of Stubbs, we have a new chairman. That All right.
No, I've got a frog in my throat.
Oh, okay. That has been using, he's basically weaponized a call to the sheriff's department to try to keep the meetings in line. When somebody tries to speak, whatever, he refuses to let people speak. So nobody can actually voice an opinion about any given subject whenever it goes through, which I understand. I mean, they don't have to, but for a little small town like that, you know, people are going to want to talk about that, and sometimes he even restricts public comment in that. So he's been, I mean, our last meeting, somebody was speaking up about it, and he told them to be quiet. They weren't being out of line or anything, but they were just simply voicing an opinion. And he starts rapping his gavel, and he says, well, I'm going to call the sheriff's department if you don't be quiet. And they did not be quiet. They kept on talking, and so he called the sheriff's department. Again, so at which point then this, it was a husband and wife, they left the meeting, they just chose to leave. And so then he called back and said, well, you can cancel that, but somebody showed up anyway. So I guess I'm not sure how to deal with this, but like I said, he's basically using that as a weapon to try to keep the meetings in order. And I think an exception, my request would be to make an exception to requests from Stubbs when he calls them, is that I think that they should start billing every time because it's nonsense.
I'm familiar with what you are speaking on, and the request for officers. Currently, if the town does call, we use a deputy who's on to respond. We cannot charge when someone is on duty in response to a call because they are simply doing their job. In the event that this chairman would want law enforcement presence at every meeting, for the entire meeting, to keep the peace, we would have to order someone in on overtime to cover that, which is where this schedule of fees covers that, where we are allowed to charge a government agency, which the town of Stubbs is, that $90 per hour.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Suppose an on-duty deputy was called to a meeting, and there was an emergency call, and because he was at that meeting, something bad happened. Because he was at the meeting in the town of Stubbs, he wasn't there to take care of matters or whatever on a real actual emergency. Is the town going to be liable?
I can't really speak on that, but what I would say is that the town of Stubbs meeting would not take priority over an emergent 911 call. So they would leave the meeting to go to the 911 call.
Which means then, I mean, basically they're, like say if it was back in Ladysmith, you know, so, and if it was like a bad emergency that required somebody to be there like now, you know what I'm trying.
I understand what you're saying, but it really would be no different than if one patrol deputy was in the town of Murray and the other one was in the town of Marshall, and something happened in the city of Ladysmith. Neither of them would be centralized for that call and would need to respond as fast as possible. Right. So it'd be, I understand what you're saying, but it's really apples and oranges at that point of, they could just be patrolling over there and have a call on the other side of the county. We can't hold anyone liable for that.
Okay. I just want you to, and you can relay that to the sheriff as well, but it's ridiculous what he's doing.
He's had numerous phone calls about it, so.
Same thing on,
I would be another phone call, except I just haven't made the call.
Yep.
he has to go. Same thing on the ambulance. We get a call and know they're probably they're gonna go out there and they're gonna do nothing and come back home, but they called, so we have to go. I'm sure the sheriff, he's got to at least get there if he can.
Yes. Yep.
He gets interrupted on the way with something else, he bails.
Okay, any other questions on this fee thing? So those are really the only changes, the rest of them are all the same?
Yes, correct.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made to approve the Russell County Sheriff's Office schedule of fees and forward to the county board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next thing was squad bids. Nothing new or nothing.
So we don't have all of the bids back yet. In my conversations with the sheriff and chief deputy, we're still waiting on, I think, 2. At this time, just to prevent delaying the process, if you guys are comfortable, we would like a motion to forward the request to the property committee pending these bids come in. Maybe with, if it would make you feel more comfortable, with the exception of not exceeding however many dollars. I think the original motion from like 2023 in regards to squad bids and squad purchases, we are not to exceed $160,000. I don't believe that we ever do exceed that amount, so I think that would be a comfortable amount to forward to property. Or if you'd like, we can bring this back again in November.
I would say let's go on it for as long as it's taken us to get some vehicle at times. My opinion is, I make a motion, we forward what we have with the property. 'Cause we've made it months at times for vehicles.
Are the vehicles in such a condition that we can't wait, or?
I'm sorry, can you expand on that a little bit so I can answer you properly? Like, the squad's getting replaced can wait? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know the condition of our squads well enough to answer if, well, no, tomorrow it's gonna fall apart. But I think maybe 5 years ago, it was before my time, our county board gave the sheriff's office a rotation to follow for our squads because of the mileage that are put on each squad. They just don't have the longevity of, our regular cars. So these squad bids are just to replace the squads that are on that approved rotation.
And there's just 3 for this, for 2026, right?
I believe it's 3.
3?
Yeah. And the other 3, I'm going from property now, are going to be put up for auction, right?
Yep, they came
Because
in on Monday.
they are not, no other department within, social services that they're
Yes.
not
The
usable.
3 that went to auction, they came and picked them up on Monday. We have pumped hundreds of dollars into them because they are at end of life, I would say, for a vehicle. I mean, if our Health and Human Services Department can't drive them within our own county, they're at their end of their life, I feel.
But isn't there some company that bids but only like does it once a year or within a certain time frame?
That's Ewald, and those are the ones we're waiting on now. So we're getting bids from Don Johnson, Ewald, and Link.
Just checking to make sure.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know, I guess I'm not comfortable with sending something to property without knowing how much it's gonna be. That's my only objection.
I think you had, or in the motion, not to exceed 160, is that what you said?
Yeah, I feel like 160 is a reasonable amount. We've, in my time in the sheriff's office, have never spent over 160,000 on squads. And that 160 just comes from what I found in a previous motion that you guys had made, because we've come into this a couple of different times with squad bids where we aren't getting the bids in the time that we are meeting with emergency services, but we need them to go to property. So we just ask our committee to approve us to take it to property without exceeding a certain dollar amount.
Okay. Is that gonna be part of your motion, Phil?
Yeah.
I'll second.
You want to repeat the motion now to make
Yeah.
sure everybody agrees?
Motion by Schneider, second by Kudo to approve moving forward with squad bids and forward to property after all bids have been received, not exceeding the 160.
Yeah.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Your property will go through it a lot harder than we will, so.
Yeah.
Next thing is reclassification, restructuring of court services position.
Yes, so I will just give a brief background. Last year, right around this time, we had a vacancy with our court security position. The sheriff at that time, Sheriff Wallace, Judge Barna, and Phil, who is chief deputy, sat down to talk about possible options, and we're working then on restructuring this position just to hopefully open it up to a more broad interest with different qualifications. While we were working on that, one of our former deputies expressed interest in the court security position, so we hired him. And the restructuring kind of went to the wayside because it was no longer needed. He had the qualifications that fit the job description.
Why is this coming back?
Because that individual has
Fine.
informed us that as of 2026, he will no longer be here. So we want to get ahead of the ball and restructure this to a court services position, which then we can make that position hopefully full-time rather than part-time, change the wage to a more reasonable amount where I believe, and Ashley, you can correct me if I'm incorrect on this, Ashley Goodis would put this or recommend to the personnel committee to put this on the wage scale and then move forward from there with the hope that we can just get more applicants for this position, because currently at the part-time status and the wage that it is posted at, it is just not a highly sought after position. Without court services or court security, we fill court security time with overtime shifts from our patrol, which hurts our overtime budget and just keeps our guys here.
Is there enough duties to go full-time?
With the restructuring, we would include transports and paper service or civil process with that for that person, allowing them that full-time.
So in effect, this is kind of a new position? Not really?
It's not necessarily a new position, it's just restructuring the current position to allow them those transport hours and civil process paper services.
So it kind of looks like also that if you're not going to require LESB certification, that if the person doesn't have it, they won't be able to have a sidearm.
Matt Wycheck briefed me on this a little bit because I asked the same question. So what we would do is they don't have to be LESB certified. They would still go through our firearms training so that they basically can have the step above a concealed and carry. So they would still have a firearm on them because we wouldn't want someone unarmed in that position.
So do we want, I mean, is this misleading? Do we want to have that in there, in the verbiage in there?
We certainly can. I'm not sure how we would word that, or if it would just fall under like potential training.
Yes.
I think if you're going to have someone that is not LESB certified, then you should put, there should be verbiage in there that says that the county will provide training for that individual.
Okay.
With
For
firearm
to
training
carry.
so that he
Okay.
can have a sidearm. That's the only issue that I had with it. Why would, I guess, why would you change from court security officer to court services officer? Because
So
they're
that,
doing these other things?
yes, yep.
Okay. So other than that, I guess I would be okay.
There's the problems with part of it. I looked at it several times and every time something else pops up. Sound judgment. What is sound judgment? It's not a fact, it's not doable. I have problems with somebody with a GED equivalent is going to understand and follow direction in order to apply general knowledge of state and county laws.
All of our job descriptions have either high school diploma or GED equivalent.
But the other ones have training after it, right?
Yes. Well, I guess like my position, it would say high school diploma or GED equivalent, but
But-
there's no training required.
But there would be for anybody, an officer who's going to take on these risky things. Everybody else has to have some training in it. That's what makes me kind of nervous. To be honest, I haven't met a high percentage of people. There are people who got GEDs and can understand high stress and basically survive and thrive in it. But statistically, I would say it's a lot lower percentage of people who can do that with only a GED, my opinion. But I mean, we can try it and go for it, but I think there's going to be problems.
So maybe then we should also include high school GED equivalent, and is there some kind of training that can address, would necessarily not be the full-blown LESP
Sure, it's all or nothing.
certification, but something that could address situations, high stress, dealing with.
All of our deputies go through a psych evaluation
Mhm.
before
Yeah.
we deem them hireable. But I don't think it's appropriate to strike out GED equivalent because you are limiting applicants.
No, I'm not saying strike it out. What I'm saying is that in addition to that, possibly some type of training that would address the situations that might arise.
Which they would get through that firearms training.
They would.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Their primary job will be court security, so if they're the trainer for transport, who gets that? Overtime or him?
It would depend on when the transport's going and what he's needed, that person is needed for in court
And
security.
then if he goes on transfer and somebody all of a sudden has court,
It would be whatever is the higher priority.
okay.
So also then, we just approved for the sheriff's department, is that job type? A person,
All of the patrol reserve.
yes.
Yes, so that's different. The patrol reserve will be required to have all of the same
Mhm.
education training as any of our patrol deputies.
Right.
They essentially just can fill shifts without needing to.
Okay, so where I'm going with that is that, can that patrol reserve fill in for like some of this court services officer duties?
Yes, but reserves are not required to pick up shifts. So if we had a jury trial for the whole week, they wouldn't necessarily be able to be mandated to be here, where this position shows up for work as if because it's their full-time job. So then we are providing that service that we're required to give to the judge.
boards.
And then, so it's going to be a lesser amount of pay, correct, for this individual, or we don't know that?
I'm not sure because it would be a general employee, so it would go on the wage
And
scale.
if there are no court cases or anything like that, then what does this individual do?
Transports and civil process papers.
Okay, and if there's none of that, then what does he do?
We always have transports and civil process papers to serve.
Okay, all right.
I like your hypotheticals. I hope I answered that correctly.
Well, I mean, I'm just curious.
Yep.
Like I said, I have reservations about this, but I will make a motion, we proceed with this and keep track of it, see what's going on.
Okay. This does still need to go to personnel,
Yeah.
finance,
Yeah.
and the full county board, so.
Will that motion include then that they have the
Firearm license.
firearm training?
I can add that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How would you like that to read?
and maybe ask the committee why they didn't put it in there. Maybe they have a reason why it's not. Who knows?
I can
guess
definitely
that's a-
talk to HR about that and Matt and make sure that we can put that in there.
Okay. But it should be in the motion too, I believe.
Okay.
So then it's in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise it.
Over here.
I think Miranda's handling this like an absolute pro.
Yeah, we don't need the sheriff in these meetings anymore.
Okay. For the court services officer job description to personnel with the addition of verbiage on the county providing training to the individual allowing them to carry a firearm.
Don't they have to receive a permit?
Which
Is that a
would,
permitting process? Yeah.
yep,
That's
through
part
the
of
training.
Training that they would get the permit. I'll second, I did. I'll second, or I will second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. And why don't you read it one more time,
Okay.
all together?
Motion by Schneider, second by Kudo to forward the court services officer job description to personnel with the addition of verbiage on the county providing training to the individual allowing them to carry a firearm.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Anything else that anybody has? If not, our next meeting is November 12th at 8 a.m.
Just let everyone know what times they're.
Right, this, a week from Saturday, there was a notice sent out for the celebration for Thomas Hall's Celebration of Life in Cameron on the 18th, which would be a week from this coming Saturday. And the details and the address are in the notice that was sent out by Ashley Goodis.
Is that where Tom lived?
Yeah.
And this kids one is tomorrow, Friday,
Yep, and they've requested that to be.
That's a private one.
Yep.
but that's for any EMTs, first responders.
Tom's kids, yep. Yep. Other than that,
Where he was.
privacy, yeah.
Okay, if nothing else, I'll adjourn the meeting at 9:43.
9:42. Okay, Ashley.